What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back with career mode once again. This is the Japanese Grand Prix, and this actually comes as perfect timing as well because I've got the AOR Japanese Grand Prix for me tomorrow night. So this was like perfect practice. So heading into this race, we got the upgrade for the drag reduction, a minor upgrade. So that was really nice to see. In terms of engines, I was talking about this in the last episode. We're running really skint now. We only have one and maybe 2 or 3 other components that have 0% wear on them for the rest of the season. So what I'm doing again for this qualifying session is running with the engine set that we finished the last episode with. Now, if you remember to the last episode, we were absolutely dying towards the end in terms of performance, but I feel like up against the front runners we were dying, but up against the rest of the field, I feel like we were okay. So for qualifying, I'm hoping to get just as high up the grid as what I possibly can. Honestly, top 5, 6th, 7th place would still be a decent qualifying position on an old engine like this. And then when we get to the race, we'll chuck in the brand new engine and we'll see how we go. Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, and also Daniel Ricciardo as well. Nowhere in qualifying 2. I don't know what that was. Daniel Ricciardo was the best part of 4 seconds off the pace. Don't know what's going on there. He must be some kind of pay driver, because in the same equipment a driver should not be that slow. But anyway, qualifying 3 now, we're underway. Brand new set of super soft tyres, and we're hopefully going to get in 2 runs before the rain hits in about 10 minutes time. So we're going to try and get in a couple laps here if we can. 27.6 to open the account. It's a solid lap. I feel like I could better that by a couple more tenths. With the old engine, that lap itself wasn't the greatest. Yeah, had to tidy up the third sector a little bit, but as we head out for the next run, I went out immediately, so I only lost like 2 or 3 minutes, but the rain had already struck. Went through turn 1, and there was absolutely no grip, so it was game over. But we do get P4 for this Japanese Grand Prix. I was hoping for like P5, P6 maybe. No, I was not expecting to get on the second row of the grid with an old engine, a practice engine, mind you. So there you go. I'll definitely take it. Going forward, we may need to look at some durability upgrades, either the turbocharger or the ICE. But looking at the ICE, it's already got 2 components upgraded there for durability, so I'm not too sure. We're pretty late in the season anyway to do any durability upgrades, so I might just go ham with the performance upgrades like I've been doing the entirety of this career mode series. But yeah, absolutely fantastic result in qualifying. We'll chuck in the new engine now. Some components we can use components for because some of those haven't been used yet. MGUH, energy store, and control electronics. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully there's a considerable performance boost, one in which should see us faster than McLaren. We'll have to wait and see. But it's time for the race.
We're still in with a chance of taking the Constructors' Championship. The team need a result from you today.
Are you sure you're talking to the right driver here? Benjamin Daly, leading the championship by 20 odd points. Daniel Ricciardo sitting P9. Who's underperforming? I'm not too sure. But welcome, guys, to the Japanese Grand Prix. One stop is on the cards once again. I know some of you guys absolutely hate the one-stop strategies, but believe me, they work. They are faster. For some reason or another, we have always just not lived up to our potential in some of these races, especially as of late. But here we go, ready for the start of this Japanese Grand Prix. 5 red lights, and we are underway. It looks like a little bit of a sluggish start there from Fernando Alonso. He loses the lead of the Grand Prix, and straight away off the line. Raikkonen looking pretty threatening as well at the inside. He's made contact with Van Dorn through turn 2, and it looks like he's off the track as well. So his race already may potentially be over.
You see what he's doing? He's pushing me off, and now he hits me.
So yeah, as you can tell, Kimi Raikkonen is clearly not a happy man. We actually got a kind of a penalty for illegal overtake there on both I think it was Alonso, not Raikkonen. Thank goodness for that. If we would have had to let the whole field go, that would have been absolutely ridiculous. So a place lost to Alonso there. I don't feel like that was the correct decision, but either way, here's a replay of the start from Kimi Raikkonen's on board. Alonso, shocking start. Van Dorn was okay, but Raikkonen got the best start out of anyone. He complained about being pushed off the track there. In my opinion, I think that was his fault. I'm not too sure, but we'll carry on with this race. We'll check the team radio and see if Alonso's doing a two-stop.
Alonso ahead.
Congratulations, Jeff. Engineer of the Year material right there, for absolute sure. I'm pretty sure they're doing a two-stop, but with the looming rain towards the end of the race, it may not matter anyway. But getting on with this race, that was a pretty hectic start, wasn't it? Raikkonen spinning off into the infield, letting Alonso go back through, even though we overtook him at the exact same time as that incident happening. In my opinion, we should be P2, but I feel like we have the pace anyway to chase down both the McLaren Hondas. We were like 8 tenths, 9 tenths slower than them in qualifying with a practice engine. With a brand spanking new one, I feel like we have the pace. Look at that, 30.5 or 30.6 straight off the bat there on the super soft tyres. Look at this, up against Fernando Alonso, up in a straight line. We are, wow, ridiculously fast versus those guys. Up the inside there through turns 1 and 2. Yeah, not quite at the same level in the corners. So yeah, that was our first attempt. That was only our first attempt. We'll try and get closer as we go through the final chicane now. I think we've pretty much done that. Get a nice exit, chuck it up into rich revs. Hopefully have DRS this time, and we'll see what we can do. Slipstream, and yeah, we're much closer. And look at that, just the difference in speed is ridiculous. We overtook him like he was a GP2, as the man himself would say. So there you go, P2. In a way, justice is restored, and now we can chase down Stoffel Van Dorn. We'll see what we can do. He has been the man that's been on form in the last 4 or 5 races, so it's going to be a bit of a task, but hopefully we can do it. With the looming threat of the rain, we can probably pit a little bit earlier than what we normally would. Do the undercut onto the soft compound tyres and see how we go. Alonso's actually bouncing back there with a 1 minute 30.4. That's pretty rapid pace towards the end of this stint. McLaren's really looking after their tyres, it seems, or especially Alonso. We're getting closer and closer to Van Dorn, by the way. The gap was 2.5 seconds. We're cutting that down to almost a second as we come on to the end of lap 7. We're going to pit here at the end of this lap and get the undercut. So hopefully this works out for us. We know that the rain is coming in about 20 odd minutes. The soft compound tyres will easily cover that mileage. So into the pits, Alonso follows us through. Nice stop from the Red Bull boys. And that should be us back in a P2. So yeah, for the rest of this outlap, we are going to be going pretty much flat out with the fuel mixture. Rich mix all across that outlap. And we'll see what we can do up against Stoffel Van Dorn. He rejoins on the track now, and I think he might get us here. That's unbelievable. I feel like, if anything, we didn't gain anything on Van Dorn with the undercut. If anything, he might have actually gained time on us. That's ridiculous. On those old super soft tyres, Van Dorn, he's an absolute wizard. He's a wizard, Harry. But anyway, carrying back onto this race. Thankfully, we have our teammate Daniel Ricciardo in P2 on medium tyres as well, no less. Hopefully bottling up Van Dorn. So we'll see what we can do here. We may be able to, you know, sneak a move up the inside if he gets caught up in dirty air, or if he can't make the move stick on the start-finish straight here. He will have DRS, a bit of slipstream as well. I feel like the Red Bull is naturally faster than the McLaren, so that should keep him in front, and it does on that start-finish straight. So that buys me one extra lap. One extra lap to have a go at Stoffel Van Dorn, and we'll see what we can do. Man, this is tense. Hamilton leads the way, by the way. He still needs to make another stop. I think he's on the soft compound tyres, but the real battle for the win is between myself, Van Dorn, and Alonso. So let's do this. Nice exit off a spoon curve, hopefully. We'll hold it in 5th gear. It will dull down the revs a little bit, but hopefully by the time we get to the end of this straight, we should be diving up the inside of Stoffel Van Dorn. Here we go, rich revs. We might sneak to the inside as we go through 130R here. It's not really a two-way corner through there, but we make it stick anyway. And now we're going around the outside of our teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. Can he leave us some space? I think he does there. up in a rich mixture. And there we go. We've got the effective lead of the Grand Prix. Hopefully Danny pulls off to the side here. He's actually defending quite hard here for what is a position he's not really fighting for in this race. But there we go. P2, effective lead of the Grand Prix. Now let's just get away and hopefully Ricciardo can hold up the Red Bulls. Not the Red Bulls, the McLarens. What am I talking about? My mind is just everywhere after that little scrap there. That was actually really awesome, seeing Daniel Ricciardo defending like it was for the World Championship. This is what we need to see more of, Codemasters. Like, the AI, they're too lenient. They're not harsh enough in racing conditions. That was brilliant. More of that, please. Anyway, lap 11 carrying on. Hamilton should hopefully be coming in at the end of this lap and giving us the lead of the Grand Prix once again. Stoffel Van Dorn gets a nice run out of the final chicane and makes mincemeat of Daniel Ricciardo there. Alonso could have had a go into turn 1 as well, but he was a little bit hesitant there. But I think it'll only be a matter of time before Fernando follows him through as well. But thank you, Daniel. You've done all you needed to do. You bought me a gap of like 2 seconds, I think it was. But Van Dorn quickly closed that gap down, which is a little bit surprising to see how much pace they have on the harder compound. This is Sebastian Vettel with some kind of issues. He's a lap down and making sandcastles in the gravel. I don't know what he's doing there, but anyway, this is Ricciardo now getting overtaken by Fernando Alonso. Live pictures round the outside through the final chicane. It'll turn to the inside for the next left-hander. Gets the job done, and he's onto the podium now as well. So, yeah, not really a fight. Ricciardo was probably worth fighting. He's got his own race to do, and yeah, he's just not in that fight. Hopefully he can get like P4, P5 in this Grand Prix and get some solid points for us. Vettel is off again. What is he doing? Honestly, what is that guy doing? I think he should just retire at this point. He's just embarrassing himself now. It's ridiculous. 2 laps down in a Ferrari. It's unheard of. Lap 20, the rain is setting in now. Sebastian Vettel heeds my plea and he bows out of the Japanese Grand Prix. But you'll see on board with Van Dorn, you can see him just sliding, almost doing a reverse entry into the hairpin corner there. It is getting really sketchy out there on the slick tyres. So into the pits we go, intermediate tyres, 6 laps to go, and this should be the tyre of choice to run to the end. Even though it's actually set to get to heavy rain in the next 5 minutes, I think we'll stick it out on the inters and just hold out until the finish. So we'll see how we go. But Alonso, because of the double stacking situation, couldn't come in on the previous lap. He's going to have to do the extra lap, and he's going to lose so much time. Honestly, so much time. Probably 10 seconds, maybe even more. I'm not even going to comment on that set of tyres that was sitting on the racetrack. We'll leave it at that. But anyway, 3 laps to go. At this point, I was really just keeping things under control. I knew that Van Dorn couldn't overtake me in a straight line. He had to do it in the corners. And for him to get a move done, he'd have to be alongside, heading into a braking zone, or wait for me to make a mistake, which I wasn't really planning on doing. That incident with Stroll there really held up Van Dorn as well. So that was pretty much all the breathing space I needed to really bring this home to the finish. Last lap now, and we're actually lapping the other Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen. I don't know what it is. The Ferraris are having a torrid day. Absolutely just torrid. This is not going to help them at all in the constructors. They're trying to chase us down, but I think with this race now happening, no chance. Absolutely no chance. But there we go. That's been the Grand Prix, guys. We're just going to bring it home now for first place in this Japanese Grand Prix. I don't know how many wins we've had so far this season. It's got to be like 4, maybe 5. But after a few things not going our way in the last few races, we finally sorted our lives out, and it's P1 in the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
So here come our winning drivers today, and what a race it was. There's been a big push at the factory lately to get these cars ready, and we can see the fruits of that labour today as Red Bull lift the winner's trophy.
What a race. I'm really chuffed with that. I'm so happy with that. Being able to actually chase down both of the McLaren Hondas in a scenario where they didn't have any problems, they didn't have any issues, and we beat them, on track in a semi-fair fight. I mean, Daniel Ricciardo did get in the way, but that could have been anyone else in the field on a set of medium tyres. I will absolutely take that all the way to the bank with 25 points. Further, you know, putting us closer to that second World Drivers' Trophy. 31 points is the difference to Stoffel Van Dorn with, I think it's 4 races to go now. I think if Stoffel wins and we get P2 every race from here, I think we might still win the championship, but that threat of Alonso is still ever consistent every single race. So we'll see how we go, but yeah, just so happy with how things are going at this stage. You know, the fact that we're able to compete with McLaren and Honda with a car that is, for the most part, it should be 6-7 tenths slower track to track, but with the OP setups, with a bit of practice, you know, improving my form on the F1 games over the last couple of months has really helped bridge that gap, and especially with that new engine today, that was absolutely the difference between us winning and just getting a measly podium, you know, 30 or 40 seconds back, however far back it would have been, like we were in the last episode. So there we go. From here, I think we just got to look after the engine, just try and stretch it to the end. I don't think we got too much, you know, wear out of that new engine that we just got today. I think our most worn part is like 5-6%. So if we look after the engine, don't really use it much in qualifying, and just maybe use it for the races for the next 1 or 2, I think we should be able to make it fairly fine now until the end of the season. We'll have to wait and see. I might use it for qualifying in USA. My pace there is a little bit shaky. Japan, I can always count on my pace to shine through, and I had the confidence to use the older engine for this one, but not so sure going forward. But we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. 4 races to go, and that's it for F1 2017. We'll be diving into a new era of career modes. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.